What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Who's
Happy
excited to be
Wednesday.
here?
I'm excited to be here. Sophia's back this week, so welcome back, Sophia.
Hi, thank you.
Someone has to look good on the live stream.
Absolutely. And I just noticed this. I told Sophia earlier, she looks fantastic. She got 9 inches chopped off her hair.
That's pretty impressive. You got a dark shirt on, so I don't think
know.
it's not as easy for everyone to tell, but I can tell. Yeah, that's a lot, by the way. Did you donate it?
I did donate it, yep.
Very cool. That is a very nice thing to be able to do.
Well, the thing Eric asked me what prompted the decision, I said, honestly, my schedule. I need to be able to just get out and go. I don't have the time to manage that long hair in this career. No.
I can't even imagine.
She is a real estate agent. She has now got the inaugural, I don't have time for anything else besides my clients.
100% real estate decision.
Content clients.
Yeah. Who has time for hair? Right. I mean, come on now. It is definitely an interesting time. Well, welcome, Sophia. And for those of you who have not met this stunning young lady here, why don't you do us a favor, introduce yourself, let us know where you're from.
Yes, I am Sophia Cruz, real estate agent in Southeast Michigan.
That's right. The Sophia Cruz, just so we're on the same page, with the True Living Group, y'all. So those of you who haven't met us either, I'm with my trusted co-host here and co-team lead, Mr. Eric Meldrum. Eric, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely. And if we've never met before, my name is Juan Alcala. I'm a licensed real estate agent as well. And we help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest here in the greater southeastern Michigan area. So we are happy to serve. Good evening, y'all. It is that time of year where things are starting to shift. Lord help me. I'm already seeing pumpkin spice everything. And I even heard people talking about Christmas already. So I already know that this is that time of year when I just want to start doing this to people. Don't give up summer yet, y'all. Don't give it up.
Yeah, I'm not giving up the summer vibes here. That's not happening.
I mean, the Michigan summers are not the longest thing in the world. Let's be honest here, right? And to just lay them down at the sacrificial lamb of pumpkin spice, something has to be done. Someone is going to have to stand up for all things summer and not let that go. So that's going to be me today, because I am not going to let that happen. But no, it's cool. I mean, we got Oktoberfest beer in the market, so that's already out there. Pumpkin spice latte is just around the corner. Have they? I have not seen it yet. Is it in Starbucks yet? Because that's how you know when things are officially.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
We lost one.
Oh no!
I think I kicked you out.
I think Eric just booted me right out. He's done with that conversation. Apparently, Eric is a huge pumpkin spice fan.
That's what I was going to say.
Pumpkin spice, team pumpkin spice all the way. Get out of here.
He is done with that. But no. But also this time of year, the back to school stuff starts revving up. But that's not the only thing that revs up, right? Like, it's that time of year in our community. For those of you that don't know, this is the Motor City, y'all. Like, Southeastern Michigan was built on the back of the automotive industry, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing in the past or in the future, right now, it doesn't matter. We still hold on to those roots, and every single year, right around this time, some really fun events start to kick up, and one of them, which I know is on our list today, what I'd love to cover with y'all is what, Sophia?
The Woodward Dream Cruise.
Absolutely. And this, if you are from anywhere near Southeast Michigan, and I mean anywhere, like a couple hours of approximation, people literally travel all over the country to come to this event. It is a humongous event. And I know Sophia's going to get into some of the details here, but like, I just remember, growing up and being around all these beautiful, automobiles as a child. Now, I was born in 1977. So some of these things that you're going to see there are as old as me for sure. And some of them are older, but I mean, I loved hot rods as a kid. I loved GTOs and Pontiacs and Chevrolet. I mean, I just loved the cars. I loved the culture that went along with it, the hot rods and the mag wheels and the chrome and the polish and the paint jobs. And everybody's out there just, buffing these things with diapers, literally. And like, I knew grown men that treated their cars better than their family.
That's a fact.
They're still out there.
Well, absolutely. This is a whole culture, right? Like, this is the thing. I know people that will let you take their wives before their cars, right? Like this is a fact. So but I remember just the smell of the gasoline and the glass packs, you know, the loud mufflers and the exhaust system. It's just a total event. So I'm waxing nostalgic in case you didn't recognize, because this was a great time of the year. It's kind of like that end of summer thing. A lot going on. But Sophia, talk to us about the Dream Cruise. I know that was on your agenda today. Let's get into this, because this is kind of like how we know, you know, this is coming into the tail end of the summer season. We got some great events coming up, and we'll start with Woodward Dream Cruise, of course.
Yeah. So, and that's actually what I wanted to do today, was just kind of, you know, it's August. Everyone's, you know, school's about to start again. So like, what can we do? What do we do in Michigan in our last month of like summer? Because when September comes, that's when you know, the weather switches. But so the Woodward Dream Cruise is on the 19th, August 19th. And I think I sent the link to like the route map, if you guys one of you boys have that. But
yeah, I'm pull it for you right now. Bear with me here.
Yeah, and I mean, I just, you know, you basically covered it for me, really, Juan. I mean, I wanted to talk about what a staple that is here in Michigan, and like everyone goes out here to see these classic cars and hear that we call it the Detroit muscle cars. You know, hear those sounds and have fun and line the streets. So here's the map of it, of the route. It's kind of small for me, guys, but does it start out?
I'll pull it up on Google Maps.
Yeah, it basically goes from Pontiac to like Ferndale. You know,
Yeah.
so there's a huge strip on Woodward where you can, you know, go put out your lawn chairs. So you basically sit on either side, you know, east or west of Woodward, and these cars are just going to troll up and down. You know, and you can check out all the muscle cars, the vintage cars, all of the I say older cars now, but like when we were going to the Dream Cruise, I feel like those were the muscle cars, right? That was the era when the cars like had history. And we went last year, and I'm seeing so many new cars. Like when you think about it, there's cars from the late 90s that are now considered classic cars. Right? Like, so we're seeing the Pontiac Firebirds,
Yep.
you know, the Corvettes, you know, from the 90s, and those were just regular cars to us growing up. Like that wasn't a classic car, but now they're to a point where it's classic. So I was there last year, and I was like really excited to be there. It's a really cool experience. There's still a lot of classic cars, and those ones just take a lot more care and you know, work to keep them in pristine condition. But there is a lot of newer cars now, right? So a lot of people doing burnouts with new cars, and you know, I was just kind of taken back last year of like, wow, I think I missed the era. Like I missed the old Dream Cruise, and now this is the new one. We have to accept it, right? Because that's time just has passed, and the cars are the age they're at now. So, but yeah, you got the map up there. So yeah, Pontiac to Ferndale there.
Yeah. So one of the things there's all these car clubs that are involved in it. Like, and I know we're showing the map right now, but this is like, you know, imagine a beautiful Michigan summer day, and it's just literally bumper to bumper with automobiles moving a couple miles an hour, and you get to see things that only come out of a garage once a year. Right? Like they literally live in these garages the entire year and only get to come out for Woodward Dream Cruise or some big event. So like there's this feeling that you get when you're down there, right? And I used to work for Baker Square, which is no longer in business. Restaurants that closed a long time ago. They were known for their pies, by the way. And I ran the Birmingham store. So every year on Dream Cruise, it was one of our Super Bowl days. You know, we were known for our pie. So Thanksgiving was always our biggest time of year. We just had a huge run. But on Dream Cruise Day, it was like Katie bar the door. The whole weekend, you were just completely blown out. Restaurants, people everywhere, cars, and you know, it's just an incredible experience. So it's something that you know, if you've never been to a Woodward Dream Cruise, we absolutely encourage you to go check it out. You know, you're going to see some cars that you've never seen before. You know, the website here has all kinds of things on it. So I want to just kind of point this out really quick. So you've got a home, you've got a visitor guide where it talks about directions and parking, because you're going to need that. Don't try to get on Woodward with your regular car on that day. It's going to be a nightmare. You want to take the back roads. Call Eric, call Sophia. They'll walk you through how to get into those details to those neighborhoods over there. But they've also got shuttles. They got a restaurant and hotels in the areas. Right, Birmingham's got a lot of stuff down there too that you can check out. There's an online store. There, of course, the sponsors, and then the car clubs, which is where I'm at right now. So if you're interested, if you are a car fanatic, you probably know about most of these clubs, or if you're getting into the game, this is a great resource to come check out, to look for where the next event's going to happen in general. So I love this. I think it's fantastic. So if I can't wait to see. I'm sure Eric will probably get some video or yeah, he's going to get some video. Let's be honest, some video from down there and share with you guys, what happened to the Dream Cruise this year. Lots of breweries down there. It's just a great time. It's a good excuse to go hang out with your family, go see some awesome automobiles, and just really experience what the Motor City is really all about.
Yeah, any restaurant with an outside patio like on Woodward, those are going to be slammed. They have live bands down there. They got things to do for the kids, on the sidewalks, up and down Woodward. There's vendors out there selling, merchandise, food. There's food trucks. It's an experience. So as Juan said, if you're a car enthusiast or you just like to go to cool events, go check out the Woodward Dream Cruise. It's awesome.
Yep.
Definitely. And just tip, you can take lawn chairs, fold out chairs, blankets, any, coolers to, have your drinks, just in case you don't get a seat at one of those patio places. Like you can pop a squat anywhere along Woodward.
You're gonna need that. We took the wagon last year for the girls, because I know, like, once we get somewhere where they have to walk, trust me, like they're tired and like, oh, my legs hurt. So bring a stroller, bring a wagon for the kids. You might need to walk a little bit to find the spot to sit.
Yeah, man, go hang out at the Detroit Zoo the day before. Like, there's lots to do. Come into the city for the weekend. I mean, that area right there is right on the border. That's 8 Mile, Ferndale area there. 696. It gives you access to to downtown. You can take Woodward all the way downtown if you want, but you've got access to the highways there. You can also, it's a short drive to areas like Novi and Livonia. You're not far away from everything. That Royal Oak pinpoint there that you start at is a really good spot in Metro Detroit. That's why it's so desirable. We look at areas around there like Royal Oak, Ferndale has become very popular, right? But Royal Oak has always kind of been that mainstay of like, and I know people argue about this, but like that's kind of like the dividing line of whether you're an East Sider or a West Sider, right? Is that fair?
That's true. That's true.
This is so like people argue in Michigan about where you're from, East Side, East Side of Detroit or West Side of Detroit. Me being Mexican, my entire family grew up Southwest Detroit, so that's just exactly. Sophia knows exactly where I'm talking about. That's where we were. So that's where our people were. It's just kind of the whole process. But like, Eric grew up on the East Side. He's from the other side is what we call that over there. I don't know those weirdos. You know what's going on. Yeah. St. Clair Shores, right, Eric?
Gang wars going on.
That's right. This is our turf, man. These are our people. But this is like, hey, this is part of the pride of the area, right? Like, I just want to make it known, like, if you're not from here, one of the things that is really cool is the pride that comes along with being a Michigander first, and secondly, a Detroiter. Even for those of us that grew up in the burbs, like if you spend any time in Detroit, you're from Detroit. Yeah, that's a fact. But that's cool. What else is going on, Sophia?
Yeah. So let's see. There is it's called the Charivari Detroit. It's basically a festival. And it promotes like health and wellness, music and art. So you'll see a lot of local artists there. The music is kind of electronic, but it's like for family. Like they focus on movement. So like you can totally take your kids to this festival as well. You can bring hula hoops, little lights. They do yoga like right there. Like if you want to join a yoga class, they're doing it right there. And it's just another fun thing to do, before summer ends. And it's a 3-day event. It runs from August 11th through the 14th. I know that they have packages for like if you want to buy for all 3 days, or if it's like $40 for a single day, like if you just want to do Saturday or just want to do Sunday. But it's just something fun to do. It's at the historic Fort Wayne, which is another thing that I think is really cool because who doesn't like to go to Fort Wayne?
Speaking of events like that, I wanted to ask you a question because like, and we'll pull up the historic Fort Wayne here in a second. But also this summer, we still have the EDM music festival coming. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Detroit's known for house music. You know, this electronic music, like it's a thing. You know, so there are some really cool events. The EDM festival is usually at Hart Plaza every year, which is that's a fun experience too. So like I love stuff like this. It's not my cup of tea in terms of music, but the experience that is wrapped around it is always a great time. Just an excuse to go hang out at the end of the day, right?
For sure. To get outside, move that body. You can take your kids; they can move their bodies. But yeah, so
historic Fort Wayne is right down on the river too. For those of you that don't know, so I'm just going to zoom out here a little bit, show you guys where it's at, just to give some context for what's going on. So you can see it right here on the map. I just want to show you here before I zoom out a little bit. It's right on the river. Okay. Which is right across from Windsor. So this is Canada right here. For those of you that didn't know, I know we've talked about this before, but hey, Canada is actually south of Detroit, just so everyone knows. It's the weirdest thing in the world. But it is there. So you know, again, this is bordering down in the Southwest. Again, this is our people down here. So we know this area very well. Xochimilco's, if you want good restaurants, at Mi Pueblo. Where else? Where else should they go down there?
Zocalo, Los Galanes.
For sure.
Yeah, Evie's Tamales. If you can get there early enough, but
yeah. You got that place is one of those places that you're like you're like, am I in the right place? Are we sure that this is the spot where we're supposed to come get the tamales? Like a little house, right? And you walk inside, and it's like first come, first serve, baby. You ain't there in time, you get no tamales. Right?
And is this like mom's cooking in the back kitchen?
Dude, it is like
there is a line as soon as
the real deal.
Yeah,
it is the real deal. And for those of you wondering, Mexican Town is right across the way. So just give you some perspective here on that as well. So you can see it right on the map. But like this is it. This is where everybody hangs out. This is where all these restaurants are. You can't go wrong. Armando's is good too. Xochimilco's, like I was talking about earlier. Los Galanes, all great restaurants down there. You can't go wrong. Bring a wheelbarrow because they feed you well. Feed you well. It's great. Awesome. Great share.
Wheelbarrow or a wheelchair.
That's right.
Both.
If you leave it to me, we will always end up back at food. Just so everybody knows. Food.
And we'll end with ice cream.
Yes, and we'll end with ice cream with Eric. Got the trifecta there. That's awesome. What else, Sophia?
Okay. Yes. So the Water and Lantern Festival. This is in Harrison Township. I do need the link for this one because if you scroll down a little bit, it walks through the schedule.
Okay.
Event schedule right there to the right. And
I see it there.
It's a little small for me, but so the gates open at 5:30. They have the food trucks. And then I believe you go into like the decorating of the lanterns. So this is definitely a family friendly event. Like take your kids, decorate your lantern, and then you launch them, which I guess is at 8:30. Is that what it says on there? 8:30, around 8:30 p.m. They launch the lanterns that they decorated.
That's really cool, actually. Let me see if we what's on this video here. Bear with us, y'all. Might be an ad. Live television is always a little bit dangerous. That's pretty cool. I like that. Have you ever done anything like this before, Sophia? Like the floating lanterns or anything like that? I've never done anything like that.
I have actually not done the water festival. No, not this one. So I am actually going to this. If you guys want to see me there.
Very cool. Very cool. Get some video. Well, I can't wait to see this. This actually looks like a really cool event.
Yeah, I want to take.
We haven't done the floating lanterns, but we've done the ones you send up with the girls. So they've gotten those. Like every year we'll do something like that. And it's really cool. Like when they were very little, they would just look up at it and then it was gone. But as they were growing up, you know, it's just watching their eyes and seeing like this amazement of like, where's that thing going? Like, how is that even happening?
Yep.
You know, then you explain it to them. It's really cool.
Yeah.
That is a really cool
But
experience.
it looks like something really fun just to do, with your family. I mean, you guys know I have grandkids, so my daughter, grandkids, hopefully we all go down there together and design some lanterns and send them off. It looks like something fun to do with them. So that's why I put it on the list today.
Oh, that's a great share. Thanks for sharing. I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And this young lady does not look old enough to be a grandparent, just so everyone knows.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. What else you got for us?
I think that's all I got as far as events. Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for sharing. Sophia's always bringing some cool events that y'all can go hang out at, or spend time with the family, take the SO, whatever it is, to get out in the city and just enjoy it. There's so many areas, right? From like, literally from the UP all the way down to southeastern Michigan. There's something to do for everyone, right? Whether you're into the nightlife, whether you're into EDM, whether you're into outdoor, kayaking, paddleboard, it doesn't matter. Like Michigan has it, y'all. Like there's a million things going on all the time. So I think it's great. It's awesome. What do you got for us tonight, Eric?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to talk about food. So I'm going to get to food for you, Juan. We'll cover that back again here in a little bit. But I wanted to start off with the most expensive or wealthiest cities in Michigan, because this is so dynamic. Like it's changing every single year. COVID has really shook some things up in terms of where people need to be, in their lifestyle. So it's forced everybody to really think like, hey, do I really need to be close to the city, or can I be a little bit further away? Am I working remote? And this whole entire thing is just, boggled everybody's mind of like, you don't really need to be close to your office anymore if you're working from home. So these have changed, and we've seen a lot more people, start migrating out. Like, hey, if I don't have to be, shoulder to shoulder with somebody in the suburbs, I'm going to get out a little bit. So some of the wealthiest cities, we're seeing some changes, in terms of where the money's going within the state of Michigan. And it's been pretty interesting. So this one covers the top 30 wealthiest cities by home value in Michigan. So it's broken down into metros. So you have all the major metros, throughout Michigan, which Detroit, Warren, and Dearborn. There are more cities in that category than we can probably count on our hands. There's too many to even count there.
Yep.
That's basically AKA Metro Detroit.
It is Metro Detroit. Exactly. I was like, wait a minute here. Yep.
That's Metro Detroit. The interesting thing about that, and I didn't even know this until I think like a year ago. I looked this up. Livingston County is in that figure.
What?
Is in Detroit, Warren, and Dearborn.
Well,
they include Livingston County, but not Ann Arbor.
That's strange. They must have just been using like a mile radius, because it doesn't make any sense. Because that's how you get Warren in there. I mean, Warren's not right next to the city. I mean, right? Like
Warren, I thought Warren was the east side.
Yeah, Warren and Dearborn are 50 minutes apart, y'all. Like you can, on a good day, 38 minutes, and you were driving really fast and nobody was in your way, and the unicorns cleared a path. But like normally that's a 45-minute, 50-minute drive all day. Yep. That's not right around the corner. Same thing. Livingston County and Warren these things are not like each other. They are so far apart from each other. That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's interesting how they break it up. I mean, but what you see in the Detroit, Warren, Dearborn is basically Macomb County, Wayne County, Oakland County, and Livingston County.
Okay.
And then Ann Arbor is like its own thing, because Ann Arbor said, no, we don't want to be a part of that.
Of course, that's weird.
We're standalone. Yeah, so it's interesting, but we can go through, and what my take out of this whole entire article and where the money's moving is like, you start seeing other places like Traverse City, Grand Rapids, outside of Metro Detroit. Of course, there's still a lot of cities, that have rankings in the top 30 that are in, the Metro Detroit area. But as we go through here, you'll see,
wow.
Yeah, you'll see some of these places. Like I think Franklin's on here.
That was the start. Yeah.
Yeah, Franklin's on here.
Beverly Hills.
Some of these cities, like I didn't even know these existed, but they are some of the most wealthiest cities by home value in Michigan. So as you're going through that, yeah, Northville, That one to be expected, right?
Yep.
550,000.
Saugatuck also to be expected on the west coast of Michigan, y'all. For those of you that don't know, Maple City. Well, that's interesting. I didn't see that coming.
So Maple City, I think that is up by Traverse City.
Bingham Farms, that Beverly Hills, Bingham Farms, Southfield, Clawson, like that area there. That's where it is. So for those of you just kind of gain a little bit of bearing, I have no idea where Douglas is. Where the heck's Douglas, Michigan?
I don't know where Douglas is.
All right, that's interesting. We don't know everything, y'all. Oakland, Michigan. All right, 581. 19. Sutton's Bay. That's up north.
Sutton's Bay is to be expected.
New Buffalo, 584.
On the west. That's on the west side of Michigan.
Glen Arbor, also,
which is basically Traverse City as well.
Yep. Great golf courses out there, y'all. If you don't know, amazing golf courses. You cannot go wrong. Glen Arbor Golf Course. 587.5. East Grand Rapids, 592. So it's like Kenneth, right?
Yep.
592.
Bloomfield Hills.
Yep. All that makes sense. Birmingham totally makes sense. Empire
is going to be first. Birmingham.
Empire is just south of Glen Arbor. So that whole entire area north of Traverse City, which is in the Leelanau Peninsula, it is growing like rapid fire.
Yeah.
I think like 10 years ago, CNN had the Sleeping Bear Dunes on their best destination place to visit here in Michigan.
Yeah.
And it absolutely blew the place up.
Yeah. And that's where you see all the houses that are like falling into the lake. That's where it's at. FYI. A fascinating area.
Yeah. Overlooking Lake Michigan.
That's
where Tim Allen goes every single year.
There you go. Grosse Pointe Shores. That's to be expected as well. Great area. 707. Northport, Michigan at 714. I would not have expected that, dude. Leelanau, I expect that one, 757. Harbert, Michigan, 766. I'm assuming that's up there too. That doesn't ring a bell. Lakeside, Michigan, 770. These are some huge numbers. Was that Keewatin?
Keewatin, have no idea where that one is.
Never been there before. Franklin.
So that's the interesting part about this article is like there's such small cities that you haven't even heard of, but it's
two home sales a year.
It's probably some of the most expensive real estate. It's a small city, but they have some really, really nice homes there.
Well, I wonder how many homes are actually selling. Right. Orchard Lake is up to 922. Wow.
Isn't that wild?
It is wild. Leland, 1,000,006. Like Angeline's. So this, I knew this area here. So this is Rochester area. For those of you that don't know, $1.5 million.
That's the one that shocks everybody. Nobody even knows about that city.
No, nobody. Yeah, it is because it's super small, right? Another one of those areas. Like I'm always, like I said, be leery of numbers like that sometimes because if they sell 5 homes a year in the city, does it really count? But I mean, home values are what they are, right? So like that's a beautiful area. Right over by Rochester. And for those of you who've never been to downtown Rochester, we have to do a event on Rochester too one night because the Christmas lights down there. It's incredible. It's a really cool spot. Really cool spot. You get the brewery, Rochester Mills Brewery downtown. It's nice to go hang out. I really like Rochester as well. It's a really nice area. But this is cool. $1.5 million, dude. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, and just to give everyone perspective on exactly what the median home price here in Michigan actually is, it's right around like 280,000. So a lot of these places, it's going up there. All right, it's getting up there. That is the entire state. Okay. So there's a lot of areas that are not as desirable, right? If you want to be, in the boonies and, have nothing around, you can go find those houses, right? But if you're in the Metro Detroit area, the average price point's more in like, the mid 3s to 400.
Yep. So for those of you who want to check out Lake Angelinas, you can do that when you go to the Woodward Dream Cruise. If you just keep heading north through Pontiac, and that'll take you right over there. You can just pop over and check it out. Just a heads up.
Look how small that is. Literally all lake houses.
It's all lake houses. And we do. I mean, listen, y'all. It's not called the Great Lakes State for no reason. It is incredible, the lake life out here. So, like, we we are spoiled rotten. You know, Eric, sometimes I think we get immune to the fact that we sell these gorgeous lake homes all the time, and it just kind of like brushes over you, like growing up on a chain of lakes and like always having a lake within 30 minutes of anywhere you travel is just, it's crazy to be that spoiled.
Yep.
You know,
And if
beautiful.
you don't have access to them, then you have a friend that has access to them.
That's right. That's right. We don't have pools, we have lakes.
You always got a friend with a pool or a boat or somebody,
We
somebody.
need a friend with a boat. Yes.
That's right. If you don't have one, you better get you one.
They got, what did the t-shirt say? It was my boat doesn't run on thanks.
Well, that's like, boats are expensive, man. They're a lot to deal with, and they're pain in the butt. There's that old adage that people say, like with RVs and boats, right? The two best days of a boat owner's life are the ones that they bought it and the ones where they sold it. So, just always something going on with a boat, man. It's got a lot of maintenance, and definitely does not run on things, but they're fun. I had a friend of mine, while we're on the boat topic, tell me that, I had one of my friends, they were coming in their 40s, ask another one of her friends that's about 10 years ahead of us, what do you wish you would have done different with your family? And she said, I wish I would have bought a boat. And everybody kind of looked and like, why? She's like, because you're all in one place. Right. Like, that is the thing about a boat. When last time I owned a boat and was on the lake all the time, we weren't in a cell phone life and everything was streamed and there wasn't everything recorded. And that's how old I am. Yes, I know. Right. But I loved being on the lake. I would go on the lake on Monday when it was like glass, right? Go out there with my friends, and we would go on the weekends. Of course, it was crazy out there, but really the boat was just parked and you were hanging out, having some brewskis and, cooking some food and just hanging out with people. And everybody was together. It's a very communal experience for those of you that don't know. So like, if you've never had the good fortune of being out on a lake in Michigan or anywhere for that matter, but like, especially in Michigan, it's another subculture, right? Like the hot rod guys are also typically usually like boating guys too, like, and gals, like, but the family, it's just an opportunity to get together, right? Today, we've been talking a lot about experience. That's really what's been driving the conversation today. But like, I don't think we're doing the state or our area any service if we don't talk about like the communal style living that it really brings together. Because like, listen, you got to be tough to move to a place where the sun doesn't necessarily shine all the time, and winters can be tough. They can be easy sometimes, but they can also be tough. And then you get, roughly 18 good weekends to be on the water, right? Give or take.
Hey, you look forward to those summer
that's what
days
I'm saying
all year long.
Yeah. And that's why, right, Eric? Because those winters can be harder, because people, there's this lunchbox mentality, even though, very few factory jobs exist in Michigan anymore, there's still that we carry a lunch pail and we're tough people. And because of that, we also love to like let loose. And to me, that was part of the, like, I love growing up in a place where we could get on a four-wheeler, go somewhere. We could go hang with our friends downtown. We can go get on the lake. We can go get on the river. We can go get in trouble in a good way. By the way, I'm not talking about like literally get in trouble, but like have fun. You love to be out and exploring, and like it's great, man.
Yeah, I think Michiganders love to have fun. I mean, they're some of the most loyal and just down to earth, people. And speaking of loyalty, like if you've ever been to any sports games, here in Michigan, Tigers, the Lions games, and God bless them. Like, hopefully something happens with them in my lifetime. But Red Wings as well. And, the Pistons, like you go to other cities, and when they talk about the fans, in Detroit, when other sports teams come here, like, man, you guys got some loyal fans. Right. And that speaks volumes of, I think, just the people here. Right. We don't let things get in our way. When we want something, we go out, we protect our own, and we make it happen. Right. And that's the whole entire grit of the automotive industry here. We're just, roll up your sleeves, get it done, and let's do it. And like you said, Juan, like we love to have fun. So it doesn't matter if it's summer or if it's winter, or if it's fall, we're always looking for events. We're always looking for things to do. People are out. I mean, we have ice fests, right? Like people are out in the cold, going downtown, their Campus Martius is open. Right. So we'll cover all that in the winter, but let's not
pulling ahead. Stop at pumpkin spice.
They line the streets with like those those warmers now too, like the heaters. They line the streets with the heaters, so you can just walk outside in the cold. But yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're supposed to be on beach vibes still.
Yeah, y'all are a good
Yeah,
4
thanks for
months
reeling
ahead.
us back in.
That's right. Just simmer it down. Simmer it down. But that's it. That's a great share, Eric. I think that's awesome. I would not have guessed 1,000,005 was not on my radar.
It's real. It's real here. Good deal. All right. Well, let's talk about some food. So the other thing that Detroit is known for is Detroit style pizza. All right. So like the whole entire debate about, what's better. Is it New York style pizza, Chicago style pizza, Detroit style pizza? I think there's like New Haven style, and there's tons of different versions of it. I think Detroit has some really good pizza spots here. So I'm going to talk about a few of them.
Before you scroll down that list, wait, before you scroll down that list, I know Supino's and Eastern Market has to be on there. But okay, go ahead.
They're probably on there. Yes, they are on there. But let's talk about.
Are we taking bets on ranking? Do they rank it like, or is it just 12 places?
I already looked at the list. I can't even do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. So I'm guessing Buddy's is gonna be number 1. That's my guess. Okay, you think Supino's?
I don't think Supino's number 1, but I don't think Buddy's is either.
Buddy's is not my favorite pizza, but they just always.
Supino's has to be over Buddy's.
Okay, all right.
All right. Before we scroll though, I do want to ask you guys, what is your favorite style pizza?
Oh, go ahead, Sophia. Ladies first.
No, I like the white pizza, like with white and ricotta cheese and mushroom. Like it doesn't have a name. I don't have a name to get you there.
Let me find the remove from stream here. Hold on.
He's already hit that button once today.
You said white style pizza?
Yeah, it's like white. It's made with like a white sauce, a white cheese and mushrooms.
Hey, don't be so judgmental.
Hey, hold on. Is this? I'm all for putting pineapple on pizza, but
no,
white sauce.
No. Now you're gonna get removed from the screen.
Oh my god!
Listen to this.
I should have just said Detroit style pizza.
Equal opportunity pizza lovers on this live stream. Just so you know, we will not judge you. Eric will judge you. Sophia and I will not judge you. I will. Well, that's not true. I'll judge you if you put pineapple on the pizza. So I guess that's
all right. So tell us if you guys are watching this. Let us know in the comments what style pizza you guys prefer. New York, Chicago, Detroit, some other version we haven't even heard of with like white sauce on it.
So breaking news, today I had pizza for dinner from BC's Pizza. It's in Lincoln Park. I had the Hawaiian and I added jalapenos on it. Gluten-free Hawaiian, by the way, gluten-free crust Hawaiian with jalapenos on it. Delicious.
Hey, they're on the list.
No, they're not, but go ahead.
I think they are.
There you go. All right. Well,
we're gonna find out. Like, I think this is a good drum roll of like what the number 1 pizza place, because I think they start with number 1.
I'm a huge fan of thin crust pizza, by the way. I'm not a Detroit pizza guy. I will eat it and I do enjoy it, but I would rather have more thin slices with all the good stuff on it than more bread. That's just me personally, FYI. So for anybody wondering, and do not put a pineapple on my pizza. My entire family, they all get pineapple. I don't understand it for the life of me, but God bless y'all. Congratulations. But let's find out what's happening.
I'm Detroit style all the way. By the way, like if I can get Detroit corner slice, crispy, well done, that's me.
It's got to be crispy if you're going to do it. It can't be soggy.
No.
It's not even an option.
If it's soggy, ask my wife. If it's soggy, I'm sending it back to the kitchen.
That's amen. Absolutely. All right. So number 1 on this list is.
Well, sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but there's a new pizza place downtown. It's called Pizza Cat Max. And they have very crispy pizzas. So, gotta try it. But go ahead. Get back to the list.
Sounds like Dave Portnoy needs to make another trip here.
That's right. All right. So, Pizza King, which I've never had because it's in Richland, Michigan. Not my thing. Is anyone eating here?
Nope.
Okay. So, we're going to have to ask the audience, right? If y'all have eaten there, please let us know. Michigan and Trumbull Pizza. There we go. So, this is in Detroit. For those of you that needed to get, and there's Buddy's, right? Buddy's is a Detroit staple. 3. Yeah, it's a Detroit staple. So understand why it makes it on there. Again, if you're a Detroit style pizza fan, typically you really like you like Buddy's. So nothing.
Yeah, and those are location specific. Like if you are going to do the Detroit style pizza, here in Michigan, like go to Buddy's, definitely try it out, but go to one that's been around for a while. Farmington location's great. Livonia is great. The Novi location is actually great. There's some carryout places like on Mac in Grosse Pointe. Not as good. I used to like it. You know, not digging anymore. They don't do as good of a job.
Yeah.
I think they took all the pans, and this is the secret about the Detroit style pizza is you have to have the seasoned cast iron pans.
That's right. You can't. That's a whole nother.
You have to have them. Like there's no question about it. Like you got to have the seasons. You can tell when it's a new pan.
And by seasoned, Eric means they don't really clean.
Yeah, they shouldn't. You don't clean cast iron.
Yeah, that's right. That's hilarious. All right, Grandma Bob's Pizza, which I've never had either. All right, that's an interesting one. We've got Michigan Farmhouse Pizza. This is in Clarksville. So if you've had that, let us know because I have not had it. Any of you?
No, I've not had that one.
Okay. This is interesting when there's a list of things that I haven't tried yet. Pie Side Pizza. This is also in Detroit. Oh, that looks good, by the way. Here for that. I don't know what's happening there, but it looks good. I'm starving, by the way. I've not had dinner. Y'all killing me. Clinton Hometown Pizza. That just looks like a place that makes good pizza. Look at it.
Yeah.
It screams, you know you're about to get served when you come in here. Love that.
I wonder if that's bar pizza. It looks like a bar, though.
It does kind of look like a bar. Cicero's Pizza in Interlaken. Side note, I spent a summer in Interlaken at Blue Lake, which is fancy camp for musicians when I was younger. FYI, just a little tangent there. Boop. We just went sideways.
You just went to band camp.
Did you have pizza?
At one time at band camp? Yes, that one time exactly. Pompey's, Michigan Avenue in Baldwin. This is way up north. This is how you know you're up north. Everything is light colored wood, and it's from the 70s or 80s. Right, Eric? As soon as you get north of the Jesus sign off of 75, pretty much everything looks like that.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
That's true. Tormina's Pizza. Tormina's is known for abnormally large slices of pizza and pizzas as a whole. Don't they make like a 24-inch pizza or something like that, Eric?
Yeah, they do.
Massive. Can't go wrong there.
You get if you eat all of it.
Pizzeria Mosey or Mozzie. I'm not quite sure how that's said. In Gwynn, Michigan. Another place that I don't think anybody's. And then Pompey's Pizza Factory. So there's 2 Pompeys?
It must be really good if they're making 2 on the list.
For real.
I don't know, but I need to redo this list.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
well,
all right.
These things change all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
We have a beef. There is a beef with said list, but that's okay. This is part of this process, right? Like, this is why I love listicles, because you know something on there doesn't belong, right? And then you also know things on there are missing. So that's part of the process. So it's like Yelp and Google reviews. I'm always super apprehensive. We used to make those mistakes early when Kate and I would travel. We'd look at Yelp and then we'd like go to restaurants based upon the reviews. And then we started, like, we had a couple bad experiences and we started looking, and then when we recognized that people started voting McDonald's and Waffle Houses like 4.7s, we're like, time out. This is why we've been fooled by this. Y'all think I'm joking? Pull up your Yelp right now. Pull up Yelp inside of your phone and go look at McDonald's or Waffle House or something. It will literally have a much higher ranking than it ever should. Makes no sense to me. Right?
Louis Pizza in Detroit should be on that list.
Yeah.
You know, they should have Cloverleaf Pizza on that list. The Green Lantern Pizza in Detroit should be on the list.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot missing there.
So that is our beef with this list.
What a subpar list. I had to go all the way to Interlaken to find a good pizza.
Listen, yeah, that's right. And we're sharing the truth with here, y'all. Like, we will not, like, especially with pizza, we're not going to let that just roll over. And like, here's something y'all need to know though, for the audience here. Michigan has incredible quality water. And if you want to have really good pizza, or you want to have really good beer, or you want to have really good pasta, you want to have a lot of things like that, you need to start with great water. And that is a reason why Michigan, Grand Rapids, beer capital, you know, one of the beer capitals of the country. Michigan is really well known for beer because our water quality is amazing to begin with. And same thing with pasta, right? Tamales are better because of our water quality. Like, I can go on and on and on about how these things matter. And until you travel outside of the area you live in, you don't know these things, right? I remember when I used to go to Florida when I was in the beer business, and you come down, and Florida beer was not good. And I was like, why is the beer not good? Well, water's terrible. In the state of Florida, like you can chew on the water basically. It's just it's not a good thing.
So when you come home, does it taste better again?
Yes.
You're like,
much better. There's no doubt about that. Much better. That's a great chair, Eric. We'll argue about pizza another day, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we're gonna find some of the best restaurants. We'll make that a theme on here. Best breweries, best pizza, best foods that we can find.
Absolutely. We had speaking of which, a couple weeks ago, Eric and I took a client over to Hyde Park over in Livonia.
Northville.
Yeah, Northville. Sorry, Northville address. And we had a great experience. It was one of the best dining experiences I've had in a long time. We had an excellent server. Do you remember his name? Dude was awesome. And I'm bringing it up on purpose. Do you remember his name?
I think it was Chad.
That's gonna drive me crazy.
Not Chad.
It wasn't Chad.
Greg?
Maybe.
Maybe
Forgive me, y'all. I'm bringing this up
if you're watching.
because it was literally, I mean, this guy was one of the best servers I've ever had. My wife and I were in food and beverage for a long time. We both ran restaurants. Kate worked at Prime and Proper downtown, Townhouse downtown. Like she's worked all over. I know, right? But our experience was absolutely incredible. Chuck was the manager there, just so you know, at Hyde Park, and our experience was lights out. All right. Lights out. And the carrot cake and the red velvet cake that they brought at the end was like as big as my head. Everybody was like, we were already so full we couldn't imagine anything. They dumped this stuff on the table. And our client who claimed that he was going to eat all of his steak when it hit the table couldn't finish. So we happen to know the manager because of Kate worked with him downtown, and he comped our desserts, which was awesome. So Eric's dessert and my dessert were comped, but they did not comp Andy's dessert because he didn't finish his meal. And the brass that takes, right? As a server,
his wife's dessert was comped too.
That's right. And his wife's was too. And he circled it. And he said, basically, no soup for you because you couldn't finish. Right. Like, dude, it was the best. I mean, that to have the Stones to do that, I'm just a huge fan. Right. Like, I love experiences like that when people, I go to have an experience when I go out to eat. Right. I don't want to. Sometimes I get it. You want it to be laid back, but like we were having a good time. So I thought it was awesome. I just want to share that with y'all. Hyde Park in Northville. Great experience. Great experience. So since we were talking about food, why not talk about
That's
food?
what the restaurant's called?
Hyde Park.
Hyde Park. Okay.
Yeah, delicious.
Steakhouse.
Great. Yeah, steakhouse.
Jam.
Yeah. There's a ton of great stuff over there in that little corridor right there. There's a ton of stuff. You got Gaucho's, right? Brazilian steakhouse that's been there for years. For those of you who like meat on meat, and then a side of meat to go with that meat, and then meat on top, you can go to Gaucho's.
Yep.
Which is that's the diet that Eric is on right now, which is like just add meat on top of my meat and I'm good to go.
Yep. If you're looking for seafood over that way, Stephen Rocky's really good as well.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff over that way. You can, just really enjoy the evening. Movie theaters over there, a ton of stuff. So you can go check it out, but really good stuff. Real quick, Eric, I don't have a ton tonight. I don't want to beat people up. We went pretty deep with numbers last week, but I did find something very interesting, that ran across my desk today from Black Knight. And for those of you that don't know, Black Knight is a huge, data analytics firm. They pull all the good juicy details that people want to know about all the things. And I want to share that with you now. So give me 1 second here, because I'm going to show the report, because this was mind-blowing what I ran across here. I was not expecting to see what I saw. If you guys had to guess, for those of you that are watching in the audience, and for the two of you, can you tell me what you think the average mortgage rate, not the one that mortgage rates are now up to 7%, by the way, on a brand new mortgage, but for existing mortgages in the United States, the average? I would love to know what each one of you think that number is.
I would say the average is probably right around 4.
Okay. Sophia?
I was going to go higher.
That's okay.
Yeah. I was going to say.
This is your guess. What did you say?
My gut's telling me it's lower. No.
Well, you're probably right, Eric.
That's fascinating. Eric thinks it's lower. Okay, that's fast. I'm intrigued as that is a very, very low number, right? When historically speaking, interest rates have been 5.5 or more since they started loaning out money for mortgages. Yeah. Right.
I'm assuming that people took advantage. I'm probably wrong. I'm assuming that everybody was smart and refinanced, but I don't think that's probably the case.
That's okay.
You're gonna tell us.
I'm going to show everyone. So buckle up, y'all, because I want you to see this because this is a very interesting chart. Eric was almost spot on. 3.94% is the average mortgage rate in the United States.
That's crazy.
I'm going to say that one more time. 3.94% right here. This is the average mortgage payment in the United States. Now, keep in mind, roughly approximately 42% of all the homes in the United States don't even have a mortgage on them. So 40% of the entire inventory of all the homes, right, don't have a mortgage. And then the other 60 have interest rates that average 3.94%. Holy cow. So for everybody out there running around with doomsday predictions about this market crash that's coming because our interest rates are 7%, how is that going to happen when 40% of the people have no mortgage? And let me tell you, someone who has no mortgage has zero interest in playing in a 7% interest rate environment. None. And people with 4%, 3.94 to be exact, they also have no interest in playing around in a 7% interest rate environment. So I wanted to bring this up because that is a staggering number. I knew that the numbers were low. There was under 3%. There's like 28% of the mortgages are under 3%, Eric, to your point, 28%. So within this number, you unpack it even further. It's just crazy when you start thinking about that stuff. So I wanted to share that with you. And I got a couple notes when I was reading through this article. This is called the Mortgage Monitor. So let me back out of here. I just want to give you guys a little. This is called the Mortgage Monitor from Black Knight. You can go. This is public information. You can go check it out. We'll put it in the description. So for those of you that don't have access to or have a hard time finding it, you'll be able to find it there. And it goes through all of the details. So this just came out on August 7th. So this is very, very new information. Okay. It's got all the details, but I wanted to get into a couple things here because affordability has been one of the key words that people have been discussing, and for good reason too, y'all. Like, affordability is an issue. This thing does not want to give up. There we go. Affordability is a serious problem. Make no mistake about it, right? Like this is not going away, right? The affordability for prospective home buyers is nearly the worst it's been in 37 years. Right. So like, it's hard, man. Like a $500,000 mortgage right now, $500,000 mortgage, assuming you're putting down 20%, is going to be like a $3,500 a month payment.
Yep.
It's a big nut to crack, so to speak. Right. So I found this part of the article interesting and I wanted to highlight it for you guys. So what was interesting here is there's roughly mortgages hitting an all-time high in June with $242,000 in average interest rate on those loans. So like that's the balance of existing mortgages, that $242,000. So that's essentially what it's saying. So I wanted to talk about that for a second, Eric, because when the median home price right now is what, $380? So let's jump over to Redfin real quick. Forgive me, I'll take you guys there. So we can all look at this together. And this data is going to be fairly accurate. It's not going to be 100%, but it's going to get us in the ballpark. It's always give or take a couple points, right? And home prices are going to make a big jump this month. And they're even adjusted for seasonality. And I'll explain why here in a second. Because it's
in the US, it's $425.
There you go. That's what I was just getting to here. So $425,000 in the US. So I want to talk about that for a second. So the the average balance on a mortgage is $242. Sophia, you got your phone? Can you do the math on that really quick?
I don't have my phone.
Awesome. So 242.
It's like 180.
180. So essentially what it's saying is people have at least $180,000. Whoever has mortgages, approximately has about $180,000 in equity on average. There's a lot of variance in here, right? But like just the quick math. Does that make sense? $180,000 in equity. That's a lot of equity. And they've been talking about it for a long time. And people have been talking about these numbers going down. Housing prices are going down. Housing prices are going down. We talked about this, 4.83. But here's something you got to take note of. Y'all remember when home prices started to just absolutely tank last year? Right? That was June of last year when those mortgage rates started really creeping up and home prices started tanking in the US. They went down big time. Okay.
Well, they were, let's be honest. They were artificially inflated, by the demand and just the craziness of what was going on. And this is the point I always make, in this conversation is what we're seeing in 2021, 2022, that was abnormal. Just like the 08, event, that was abnormal, right? Like that was unprecedented times. So it caused people to really look at their situation and say, yeah, I'm going to go buy a house. It's 3%. We've never seen 3% interest rates before, right?
Yep.
So like uncharted territory. So now we're basing everything off of those prices, which went up. So a dip wasn't actually a dip. It was, I think, going back to what we probably should have seen in the first place, which was the correction back to normal increase in home prices.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Well, it's a big shift from earlier in the year, Eric. That's why I want to make that point. Because originally, if you go back to Redfin, Realtor, Zillow, all their original forecasts from this year were 0.3% appreciation year over year. Right. And now you've got all of the same companies, they're recalculating, saying that we're going to be up 3 to 4% for the year by the end of the year. And I want to just make note of this because this is where we saw that big dip last year. And it does go down seasonally. But what you're going to see is that home prices are going to, the home values are going to rise because they're not going down at the clip that they did last year. Right. But I also want to be mindful, like the amount of sales that is occurring is staggeringly low, almost historically low. It's not anywhere near average. So this is something to take note of. We'll get deeper into these numbers in the future, but I just wanted to share this with you because like most people this is why we have such a hard time because we don't know what's actually happening. We just assume, right? We assume that that the market is going to crash because interest rates are 7% without really understanding that the average American has an interest rate of 3.94. This is why they won't sell their houses to you and me. They're not going anywhere. Listen, those mortgages are somewhere between $1,600 and $2,100 on average max. That is, it would cost them more money to go rent a 2-bedroom apartment. Yeah.
This is a big deal. All right. Like people are asking or thinking like, okay, this crash is coming. We're going to have, massive layoffs and like that may happen, right? Like there's going to come a time where, some event takes place. Most homeowners are in such a better position than they were back in 08.
This is
right. This is not 08 at all. Right. We don't need to go there, but such a different landscape, such a different situation. And the equity that they have can be pulled out. All right. They can weather the storm. They don't have to sell. They don't have to do anything.
Yep.
Right. They can just sit on it. Those that are seeing this type of activity, what I do see, and we see this from our investor clients, right? So if you're watching this and you're in this ball camp of a 3.94% and you're looking at, roughly $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 of equity in your home, there's ways that you can start deploying that right into the market because real estate is going to become a scarce commodity. It already is. That's why people aren't selling their homes. They got the people with the lock-in effect, got institutional investors, and if you look at what Bill Gates and some of these other big guys are doing, pay attention to that, right? Everyone's saying like there's a crash coming, but those companies, those investment firms, what are they buying?
Dude, BlackRock, Vanguard, they're using your 401k and pension money, building real estate investment trusts, going out and buying those first time those starter homes.
Yeah.
Y'all,
And they're gonna rent them back to you at a
they're
premium.
gonna rent. Dude, they already own everything. And this isn't like, I'm not conspiracy. Go look at what you want. Like, go look at your stock portfolio and then go look at what those companies own. They own all of the agricultural. They own all of the consumer goods. They own all pharmaceutical, and now they're coming for the housing. This isn't complicated.
Yeah, I think
right?
Bill Gates and another billionaire are like the largest landholders in the United States,
This is
and they're buying up agriculture land because where else are they going to build homes?
Yep.
Right? Or where else are they going to protect the food supply? You know, when things start going the other way. Yeah, it's so when you look at this from a macro, I mean, it starts, the puzzle pieces start to fit in, and you start to say, okay, like I'm just looking at my situation saying, how do I buy a house? Right. But right now is probably one of the best times to start looking at how do you hold on to your house and buy more houses?
I'm telling you
Right.
right now.
I would love to sell your house, guys, but I'm telling you right now, like if you can figure out a way to hold on to that asset and leverage that and multiply that and buy more, you are going to be the 1%. You
Yep.
are going to be the people that, you know, have the properties that everybody else is going to be looking to rent because they're not making any more homes. 6 million home shortage in the US.
And it's not going to come fast enough if it does, right? And that's the last line. I forgot to highlight that, but I think that is very important to note. Just the 344,000 homeowners currently owe more on their home than the property are worth. Right? Now, listen, I want to give one last perspective here on this, Eric. Pre-pandemic, usually there was somewhere in the range between like 260 and 330,000 foreclosures annually. We've had less than 40,000 over the last 3 years each year. Okay. The first 2 years was fake. Right now, everybody's got very, very cheap payments, right? They're less than rent. And that's what we were just talking about. And 344,000, even if all of them foreclosed, that would only get us back to a normal range. And he didn't say that they were in trouble. He didn't say anything about delinquencies. What he said is these people probably owe, and they don't know for a fact, but they're estimating that 344,000 homeowners owe more on the house than it's worth. Okay, and let's be honest, if you dug deeper into the stats, you'd probably find that there's a large chunk of them that did that to themselves. Right, they borrowed against it to buy the boat or whatever they did. Right, like because in this economy, outside of areas like San Francisco, Austin, areas that have really taken a beat down over the last couple of years, which are really starting to gain their way back. Right, they're clawing back. The Silicon Valley is clawing back on the real estate prices. It's starting to come back. Austin's the one that overbuilt. They're overbuilt, is what happened there. Yeah. They have a lot of supply, and that's why they're seeing that. But they'll get that right. The builders aren't going to keep building just to, cut their nose off, spite their face, right?
Well, that data point, you're going to get a lot of people that say, well, the banks are going to come knocking, for their money on that. And my position on that is like, I don't believe the banks are going to come knocking and say you're underwater. We need to recast this loan.
No, that's not what they do.
There's no way, right? They're not interested in putting that many resources towards getting people out of their home because then they're going to be in a disaster. Like they want to keep that cash flow coming in. Make your mortgage payments over the long period of time. Who cares?
That's right. Banks make money by loaning money, not by holding assets.
Yeah. So for everybody who's like looking at this thinking, oh, well, that's unfortunate, right? We're going to probably have a ton of foreclosures and things are going to start getting like crazy. It's not going to happen. Yes, there will be foreclosures. Yes, people will lose their jobs and lose their homes, but it's because of the default on the payment, not because they're underwater on their home.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Which again, that it's very few people is what the point of that data point is like when you look at that, you're like, wow, that's staggering how low that actually is. We're a long way away from having some sort of major correction. Let me take one step back so nobody gets out of whack because of real estate. That's why I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with. 08 was because of real estate. It was terrible lending practices, all of the cocktail of nonsense and disaster. That's why that happened. And that crashed the economy. According to our government right now, right, our economy is growing and unemployment is still low. The Federal Reserve is going to come raise interest rates at least one more time this year, if not twice, which is nuts, right? The only place that inflation is created is at a government level, which makes me crazy. And now if you look at it, the majority of the inflation that is left in the economy is because of housing. You know where that's coming from? 7% interest rates. You know who's creating that? The Federal Reserve. So
we're trying to stop inflation.
Yep.
We're raising interest rates, making housing more unaffordable for people.
Yep.
And their payments are now unreachable.
That's right.
That's the summary of what Juan was just said.
Yeah, it's crazy. And their goal is to get people out of their jobs. This is the stated goal right now of the Federal Reserve, and to cool housing. There's only one. The only way to do that is to either help people build the houses, which is not going to happen fast enough, put people out of jobs. That's it. Right? That's it. So anyways, I know I didn't mean to go down the dark, deep rabbit hole. Real estate.
Well, I think it's important. I think it's important to really pull back the onion on this and talk about what nobody else is talking about.
Well,
average people are not looking at this data.
Yeah. And we both said it many times before, and we'll say it again. Real estate as an asset class has proven itself. It does not need me, you, the government, anybody else to validate it, period. At the end of the day, everybody needs a place to put their head. Most people would prefer to own theirs. That's the reality. And until that changes, doesn't matter. And then if it changes, guess who owns all the things? BlackRock, Vanguard. You know, if you're passing along ownership so you don't have to deal with it, then you're going to have to deal with whatever they give you in return. This is one of the last places in this country where you get to take control, where you get to say, this is mine, right? And I am obviously I'm an advocate for real estate. And on that note, y'all, thank you for sharing this evening with us. I just want to say from the True Living Group here and the team, we're grateful for the time you spend with us, the time you give. Put a comment down below. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're enjoying this content, what you would like to know more about in Michigan. We'd love to bring those topics to the table. Eric, any final words before we close up tonight?
No, I echo what you just said. Thanks for tuning in. All the calls and reach outs and, conversations that we've had with everybody that's looking to move. We really appreciate it. We've been helping families day in and day out navigate this real estate market here in Michigan. So if you are thinking about making a move here to Michigan, definitely give us a call, give us a text, or our favorite, schedule a Zoom call so we can meet you face to face and get a game plan together to help you move here to Michigan. So thanks a lot.
Absolutely. You can find all that contact information down below in the description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on another place, make sure you go check us out on YouTube. Put all that information in the description, including links to the references to the events and those types of things. We'll put those in the description below. Sophia, any parting words for the audience?
No, actually, yes. Go ahead and leave us a comment about what you want to learn about, hear about, what we can talk about on our future lives that you're interested in knowing about, and we will get them on here next time.
Absolutely. And from, the team here, I just want to say thank you. Of course, we're so grateful. It's just been an incredible ride. YouTube as a whole has just brought so many opportunities to us and our families. Not only have we had clients to serve, but we've made friends too. So we're grateful for the opportunity. Again, if you have any questions about buying, selling, relocating, or investing here in Michigan, do not hesitate to reach out to the team. Until next time, we'll see y'all. Have a great evening. God bless y'all.